I experienced premature ejaculation for more than 5 years, and after hundreds, if not at least thousands of hours of investigating how to solve this, I realized that there isn't actually research or investigations about how to fix this, at least not strong enough. No strong conclusions, no testimonials, and those who said that they have the fix, they look like they were trying to sell something and never actually told the methods that they were using to solve this. So what I did was trying every single little piece of advice that was available, and because of that I went through consistent trial and errors for around the 5 years that I mentioned. It was tiresome and disappointing because there was a lot of just plainly BS that people were recommending, but at the end all that was worth it because I was able to differentiate the fluff and the smoke that people were trying to sell from the stuff that actually worked. I ended up overcoming PE, and not only that, I was able to last more than 30 minutes, that is way higher than average. And today I want to share with you 3 tricks that you can start to put in practice today to achieve similar results. My name is Jesus Noya, and I help men to last longer in bed, become sexually dominant, and be more attractive. All this while avoiding the deadly mistakes that I made through my sex life. This comes from my medical background of being a medicine student and 5 years of struggling with things like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, and non-existent sexual confidence. Today I want to save you from the terrible pain that is lasting only a few strokes and feeling like a wimp for that. And I want to help you to increase your overall timing and control, making you able to last longer in bed so you can start to have that kind of wild, dominating, and masculine sex that you crave. And just very quick, if you want to overcome things like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, and accelerate the process for you to become a sex god and be the man of her life, go and click the link in the description right now. That way we can work together on making that a reality as soon as possible for you. But now let's jump into the video. These 3 techniques that I'm going to show you are super easy and can actually make a difference tonight. However, they're only additions to the real pillars for sex god performance and the total control of your ejaculation. The pillars are your mental state, the emotional connection, and your physical health. The more you master these pillars, the better you will implement these techniques. You can look for other videos in this channel for that. I mention it because even if you apply all these techniques perfectly, like with any other sexual technique, if you are weak, for example, in your mental state, full of anxiety and shame, most probably your performance is not going to be good no matter what you do. However, once you have a strong basis, that's when the difference can be huge. The first technique is deep breathing, and I'm pretty sure that you already heard about it. Basically, every man that wants to improve his sex life, once he starts to do the research, he always receives this advice. Actually, I discovered this myself when I was like 16 or 15 in a very old book that I was reading about attraction and seduction. It wasn't even about sex, I really. In that book, it was explaining how the men that usually have a shallow breath are just less attractive for women because they're always like fidgeting and shaking and not being able to control themselves or their body. But once you start to deep breathe more, like taking all the air directly from the nose to the stomach to the diaphragm, you start to feel more calm and in control, making you more attractive for women. That was my first introduction to this concept. Then I started to see the importance that had in sex. Everyone was recommended that if I wanted to last more, I should deep breathe all the time. That if I was able to dominate night, it would give me at least a couple of minutes, and that for me was great because I couldn't last more than 30 seconds. So I took it very seriously, but it didn't work the first couple of times. The big mistake that I was making with this was seeing deep breathing as the silver bullet, as the solution to all my problems. I remember having sex with a girl, and just after like 2 strokes I felt like coming, and then you started to like and the girl was like, whoa, what are you doing? I mean, what's that? What's happening? Are you feeling sick or something? It was just weird. But not only that, it didn't help me to last longer either. But that's because I was doing it wrong. People in the internet wasn't explaining how to deep breathe properly. So this is what actually helped me and what I consider the right way to do it. First of all, try to deep breathe basically all the time. Be conscious about your breathing most of the day. Anytime that you see yourself being agitated, shaky, nervous, or with stress, try to take a couple of seconds to deep breathe. Just like that, very normal. Make it a habit, like your baseline for how you're supposed to be breathing. Always deep, keeping that calm energy. In order to learn this pattern and build the proper habit, you can take around 5 to 10 minutes every day to just deep breathe. You can use the app Oak in iPhone or Joy in Android. Those are the ones that I personally use and recommend. And just take some time to do the practice. If you do it daily, you're gonna realize that eventually you just start to like deep breathe automatically. Because it's not like your brain has learned that that's how it's supposed to breathe, and it's going to try to make it as much as possible. When you do it daily, eventually it just becomes natural. And that's when it makes a difference during sex. When you're having sex sex like you're doing exercise, and just by default you start to shallow breathe all the time. But if you have learned how to deep breathe properly, now you can consciously start to do this during sex. As you already used to breathe like this, it's going to be just way easier for you in comparison with me when I was looking like I was trying to fill a balloon. And you can also take a more conscious deep breath when you feel that it's necessary, so you can start to calm yourself down. What happens when you take a deep breath is that you release tension, and it also relaxes your nervous system, allowing you to be more in control of your own body, and with this your ejaculation as well. Deep breathing makes a whole connection between the mind and the body, because if you think about it, the breath is like a bridge between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, because it's a conscious and an automatic activity at the same time. So by embracing the breath, you're just more in control. I strongly believe that this is one of the reasons for why women feel so attracted to like spiritual people or the yoga teachers. They're usually seen as sex experts, and I think this is one of the reasons that helps to that perception. They do a lot of breath work. I don't think it's just a coincidence. The second trick is to graduate the speed. A problem that some men have is that when they feel aroused, when they have like all this sexual energy in them, as soon as they go in, they try to go as fast as possible because they think that's how women are going to enjoy it most. This belief, specifically with the guys that suffer PE, is a huge killer. But I get where that's coming from because I used to do this mistake myself. I remember how after training with Kegels for around more than 6 months, I was feeling ready to go and have sex again. I had a lot of confidence in myself and I was feeling ready. So when I was with the girl, as soon as I put it in, I wasn't feeling that sensation of coming like before. So I was like, alright, this is time to do it. And I started to go fast. And after only like 5 strokes, I was done. That was so embarrassing because I remember how I was flexing with the girl, the good time that I was going to give her, and then it just ended up being a whole disappointment. I also used to do this mistake when I was taking my time to go slow, for example, and girls started to say things like faster and harder. And instead of building up to that point gradually, I would just go all in one time. And there were other times where girls just started to move like crazy out of nowhere. The problem was that making that jump from 0 to 100 without building up gradually, it was too much for a person like me that didn't know how to control his arousal. It's like I throw a ball at you full speed, not even telling you. You just react by instant, like covering yourself instead of catching the ball. During sex, what's going to happen is that you're just going to come, you're just going to finish. So instead of doing that, what you want to do is to graduate the speed, like escalating until reaching to that point of going fast and hard. And when you feel that it's necessary, slowing down and going up to that point again, so you can be in control all the time. This is something that will be better for you because you will have more control on your body, your timing, and your arousal, and you will be able to experience sex more. And it's also better for her. Women are not like these switch lights that you just turn on or turn off. They're more like the volume button. You have to build up that tension until reaching to that point, and that's when she's going to feel it the most as well. And the third and final trick is the reverse Kegel. Whoever that has ever googled how to last longer in bed, I'm sure that they came to this concept of the Kegels. In the same way as deep breathing, or maybe even more than that, is the thing that everyone just recommends. And yes, it can actually help you to last longer and have better quality sex. But there's a variation less popular that is way more effective to last longer, and that is the reverse Kegel. I discovered this at a time where I already knew that if I wanted to last longer, I needed to stay away, or at least aware of the point of no return. That point when you already feel like ejaculating, and even if you stop, you just can't go back. And the reverse Kegel worked like wonders for this. Instead of making tension on your pelvic floor as the normal Kegel, where you're trying to, for example, stop the flow of urine, you do the opposite. You relax the pelvic floor. It's like you feel a distension. If you want to do a reverse Kegel, try to, for example, make like pushing the flow of urine, like trying to make it go faster. It's the exact same action. When I discovered this, I was super excited because I could feel it in the moment. I knew it was working. But when I put it in practice during sex, there's a big mistake that I did and I ended up screwing it up. I was reaching close to the point of no return, and then I was performing the Kegel, trying to make it back because that was the logic for me. And yes, it was working, but I had to push it too hard, and because of that, I wasn't able to just keep continuing the sex. Even doing the reverse Kegel, I ended up coming anyways. So the mistake that I did was waiting to be close to the point of no return, not being in it, like being close enough, and then that's when I was performing the reverse Kegel to try to stay away from it. It can work like that, yes, but you're going to feel too uncomfortable, and besides that, you go through the risk of crossing that point anyways. So the best way to do it, in my experience, is not even waiting to the point of no return to appear or that you're feeling close to it. It's doing it as soon as you feel tension. As soon as you feel that your pelvic floor is like tight or getting in tension, you perform the reverse Kegel as a way to relax yourself, to relax your body. That way you can be in control most of the time and the point of no return doesn't even appear. The reverse Kegel is also great because when you do it, you're conscious that your body is in tension and you start to relax it. If you learn to use the reverse Kegel in the right moment, you will see how it's able to give you a significant extra time. So these are the 3 tricks. If you put it in practice properly, they guarantee to give you at least a couple of minutes more during sex. And not only that, but they can help you to be more in control of your own body. And once that happens, happens, once you start to last longer, once you become the master of your own sex life, you start to experience sex in a way more beautiful and fulfilling way. That's what happened to me, and I really wish the same for you. Again, remember that if you're suffering things like premature ejaculation and performance anxiety, if you want to overcome those things fast, accelerate the process for you to become a sex god and be the man of your life, go and click the link in the description right now. That way we can work together on making that a reality as soon as possible for you. But besides that, man, I really hope this helped you. I'll see you later. Bye.